Hello everyone and welcome back to another brand new video. Now I must admit I have made a bit of a misjudgment of the new Isle of Man game. A lot of you might have noticed I have a review out a couple of days ago, and in that review I give it a 7 out of 10. I basically, for anyone who hasn't seen it, game is lacking a lot in content. The physics are pretty good, bar a few small issues, is what I kind of said in the overall review, and I said that there isn't really a career mode and all that, and everything I say in the review I meant, and it's true. But unfortunately, about 2 nights ago, jumped on with friends, and as I've been playing it probably nearly every day since I picked up most nights, we do a lap or two of the actual TT course. I've done even full 4 lap races of the Super Sport class, so I actually have spent quite a bit of time on the actual circuit. I've been slowly picking up, getting to learn lots of the intricacies of the track, and I've gotten to the point where I kind of know the track to the most point. I know a lot of the places on the Super Sport bike where I can be flat and I can kind of gain time back. So I'm at the point now where I'm kind of keeping an eye on my leaderboard times. I'm trying to put lap times in. I'm like, oh, if I get to this point of the circuit by 5 minutes 11 seconds, I know I'm on for a good lap. And it's probably not the way it should be riding me because I'm kind of focusing on the clock. But what I've noticed is the faster and the more kind of knowledge you have of the track, the game gets worse. I know that might sound a bit stupid to say, but the issue I'm having is that the physics do not react well to you wanting to go a bit quicker. So the first few nights I was rolling through a lot of corners. I wasn't putting any load through the bike. The bike was kind of settled through most of the corners because I just didn't understand the corners of how fast I could through a lot of the mountain section. But when you start to realise that you can just take a bit more speed here, the bike just does not take it. So at the moment, I have tried in last Friday night stream, to do some of the career mode. The career mode, or the season mode, as the game calls it, is so bad. It is ridiculously bad, and it has been for years now in the previous ones, to the point where everyone is saying that you need to upgrade the bike, still feel a bit better. But I have zero intention. I tried to do it on stream last night, and I had just absolutely no interest in it. It was so poorly done. And that is just the topic of today's video. It's just kind of, I'm starting to realise that the TT3 game is pretty poor. It's not really that good, is it? I was streaming last night and someone had bought the game and they were installing it, and he actually refunded it without even playing it, just by seeing what my stream was. The physics are wonky. For the most part they're okay. Slow speed is broken. It is wrong. It's just silly. A lot of the high speed sections I feel like is luck whether you get through it, because you could hit I've had a few times now it's happened, and it's very annoying when you're on a good lap. I've been going through the mountain part of this course, and I've hit like an imaginary speed bump, and it's just like kick the rear up into the air as if something's there that's invisible. When you're doing 160 miles an hour on a road course, things like that kind of really piss you off. So for me, the physics are killing it at the moment, especially when you try to actually just start to push a bit more. And I'm not saying that I'm trying to ride it like a short circuit where I'm on the bump stops every corner, I'm going curb to curb. I'm not. I'm still pretty easily riding these bikes. I'm not going that hard at them. But when you just get a little bit quicker, you just ask for a bit more from the physics, it just doesn't give you back, and you get crashes that are not your fault, and they're really frustrating. And some of the bigger issues is that you're not able to put the bike where you want it. The physics just don't allow it. They're just a bit lazy, the physics, I feel. And again, a lot of people say when you upgrade the bike does get better, it gets more reactive, it feels better at low speed, but that shouldn't be the way. Fair enough, in career mode I understand that, if they made a career mode, that is, that you give them a really poor bike to start off, like most career modes do. They do it in most GP games, the F1 game, that when you start with your bike it's a little less than your AI equivalent is. But when you're playing online as Davey Todd or McGuinness, Peter Hickman, there shouldn't be the bike that you ride in there should be exactly the maxed out bike, as in what would be like if you rode as Marquez in the GP game, if you drove as Lewis Hamilton or Verstappen in the F1 games. You don't get like a really wound back car in the single player or the online modes if you're playing with a real driver, and it's the same in the riders for GP. So I don't really understand that aspect. It's really pissed me off, and over the last 2 nights I've gone from really enjoying the game and putting up with the few things I don't like, to the point where now I'm kind of on the fence of uninstalling it, really. I'm going so bad with that I reckon I'm probably going to download an emulator and go back and play the Jester one, because there's been so much positive feedback about that, and people always saying that that is the best ever TD game. And to be honest, even though it's a 20-year-old game, I could see it being that just from what I've seen of it and the few videos I've seen of it. So again, it's quite disappointing for the most part that a modern day game is so lackluster in the physics department. The bottom line of the physics, in my opinion, it's still a car. Like, Racehorse Studios are known for their car games, and whatever they've done with the physics is still a car. There's too many times that I'm riding a super sport bike or super bike, and it's you're on the brakes and the rear end just rotates around as if it's like a car. It just is wrong. I'm not the only one experiencing it, and for the most part, it is ruining the experience of the game. And unfortunately, when you just start to lose the enjoyment in the physics, personally for me, the physics, like I said in the review, it's probably the main thing. I can put up with poor graphics. For God's sake, I play GP bikes probably every day, and the physics on that are appalling for the most part. So for me, I don't know how much longer I can play this current TT game. I did say in the review with a couple of updates they could fix a few things, but I'm starting to realise that the things that actually really bother me are decisions made by the devs on the way they've designed the game, built the game, and worked the game into it. So I just really don't know, and I'm really interested to hear your feedback to let me know if everyone else is feeling this. A lot of people are enjoying it, a lot of people don't like it at all, a lot of people have already refunded it, and like my current friend group and the few people I play with regularly, we're all bitten by the TT itself, but not this game. We all love the fact that we're racing on that's such a historical track, the high speed, the risk, the danger, the enjoyment of riding, and what happens when you do a clean lap or if you do a personal best. But it's at the point now where the game is a massive RNG factor, whether you're going to get a clean lap in, whether you're going to crash going over some weird bump that you did last lap or you did the night before. It's inconsistent, and when you're at that speed on a road course, you can't have inconsistencies, and unfortunately that is the big part of this game, is just the physics are so inconsistent. They're badly done in some areas, and it just gets to the point where maybe the honeymoon period is probably past now, you could say, and I've just lost a lot of interest, and it's going to be hard for me to continue playing. And it was a shame, because I actually really enjoyed it early. I streamed it last Friday, not last night, and got a lot of races going. I got Dr. Racing, I got a few people in, and we had a good bit of fun. It was again a bit of something different, and I think maybe the fact that like I said, the honeymoon period and something different has worn off, and now I can actually really see what the game is, and it's pretty poor. So yeah, if you are on the fence about picking it up, at this point in time, I'd recommend against it, definitely. Just the physics aren't good enough. They're inconsistent, too many glitches. They put out an update today and they fixed a lot of things, but like the game still doesn't run great, even on high-end PC. It is pretty poor on console. So for the most part, it's just not there yet. Maybe next year game, or whenever they bring out a fourth one, if they bring a fourth one, it might be better. But for me, their current physics engine, the way it basically handles like a car, is really the big issue for me, because some of the game is believable and is enjoyable, and when it goes right for you, it can be fun. But the fact is, when you slowly start to understand the track a bit more, and you can just start to ride a bit harder, not really aggressive, but just push it a bit more realistically, the physics just don't match up, and you end up having these really annoying crashes, these bugs, these weird moments, and it just takes away from it. And unfortunately, probably won't be much more content on this game coming on the channel unless there's a massive update. But even again, like, I think the update won't do much to it, even if they update the physics. I just think that it's an inherent issue with whatever way they've built their engine around this game. So I'm going to leave it there for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. Let me know as much as you want about the game in the comments. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below. You can also join my Discord. There will be a link in it below. You can ask me more of there. You'll probably get a quicker response there, and that's probably where you can contact me the easiest. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Hope you have enjoyed. Let me know any of your feedback in the comment, and I shall see you soon with another video. Thanks for watching.